Okay, hi, I'm Nikki. I'm one of the clinical specialists with Abbott. So we're going to just run through the Heartmate 3, which is the left ventricular assist device you guys are going to start using moving forward. So it's very similar to the ones you've used in the past. The device itself goes into the patient. The drive line is what comes out of the patient. Okay. The drive line then goes into something called the system controller. This is your system controller. You also have two other cables that come from this, which are your power sources. You have a black and a white. You can see down here the black and the white. When it is connected to the power module, which it is right now, these need to go white to white, black to black. Okay, so the colors need to match. This battery, or this system controller also has an internal battery within the system controller. If you were to accidentally disconnect both of these power sources, you have 15 minutes before the pump would stop. So just something to make you feel a little bit more comfortable when you're changing and everything. You do have a little bit of time. Just to quickly go over the system controller, on the right is probably your most important button that you'll use the most. It's your display. You push on that and it's going to give you all of your VAD parameters. The first one is your RPMs. Next is your flow, then your PI, and then the last one, power. And then the only other thing on here is it says backup battery. That's talking about the internal battery within the system controller. It should always really say charged, because as long as this is to power, it's charging that backup battery. Okay? And if you hit it one more time, you just go back to the main display. Up here at the top are two green arrows. These mean the pump is on. You should always see these. Next, on the left, you've got a button on the top, a button on the bottom, and then lights in between. Okay? The first button is your battery button. We're connected to power, so this is going to be a full bars. If you're connected to battery, you might be missing like 1 or 2 bars as it drains down. The little diamond on the side, if that were to start to flash yellow, you will also get an advisory alarm, which is kind of a beep, beep. That means you have 15 minutes or less of your batteries, your external batteries, okay? If the patient were to ignore that portion of it, the next step is gonna go to a hazard alarm, and this battery symbol is gonna light up red, okay? That means you have 5 minutes or less. So hopefully we listen to that one. And it's gonna be a much louder alarm as well. The next one down is the red heart or the low flow alarm. This, anytime your patient's flow goes below 2.5 liters, you're gonna get this alarm. Now, one thing to keep in mind, especially with you guys here in rehab, you're probably gonna get some low flow alarms. They are they depend a lot on fluid and on blood pressure. So if you think about it as your patient is getting up out of bed, moving, a lot of the position changes will cause some low flows. The most important thing to know, number one, they will resolve as soon as the flow goes above 2.5. The second thing, let your VAD coordinators know that the patient is getting low flows. They can then decide if anything needs to be done further. The next light is a wrench. This will light up yellow and it'll be a yellow blinking. This means there's likely something that's going on within the system itself. Okay, the cables, the system controller. If you get this, there's gonna be a message that shows up in the display. You wanna call your VAD coordinators, tell them that you're getting a yellow wrench alarm, tell them what the display says. Just to keep in mind, nothing is going to happen right off the bat. It's not an emergency alarm. So if you get that, you have time to talk to the VAD team. So you've got plenty of time. But you do want to let them know, and you want to let them know what the message is saying. The last one is the mute button, silence alarm button. So when you push this, it's going to silence the alarm for 2 minutes, but it is not going to clear out an alarm. So if you have a low flow alarm that does not resolve on its own within those 2 minutes, you will get it back, okay? So this just gets rid of the annoying noise so you can take a breath and figure out what's going on, but it's not gonna clear anything, okay? On the side, we have these 3 lights that will light up. it correlates with each cable. If this one is lit up, your black cable is disconnected. If this one lights up, your white is disconnected. If this one lights up, your drive line is. Okay? So moving down to the power sources. These are your power sources. In order to get this disconnected, I'm gonna go in black. All you're gonna do first, twist. Just get that out of the way and then pull, okay? You have a half moon. This is the same thing that goes to the battery as well. There's a half moon. You just gotta line them up, push in, and tighten. Okay? Now, when you go to batteries, I'm just afraid it's gonna slide off. When you go to battery, as I was talking, the half moon, same connection. When you go to battery, these colors do not matter. There's no black or white of these, so you just make sure you're connected to a battery, okay? It goes in the exact same way. To get the battery out, there's a little button. You just push and pull. To put it back in, you can see the arrows. It's only one way. You can't do it the other way. So you just snap it in, you hear the clink, okay? Each pair of batteries drain at the same time. So it's 17 hours. They last about 17 hours as a pair of batteries. So when you change them out, you have to change them both out, okay? You put them in, you get a new pair. You put them in, you've got another 17 hours, okay? Just a little bit about the iTouch, which is where this is when you're connected to the power module and you have the display. If you're on batteries, you're not gonna have this, okay? But this is what you'll see. You'll see all of your bad numbers on the left. So you'll have your RPMs, your flow, your power, and your PI. Yeah. Any active alarms are gonna be on the bottom, okay? Okay, just in case, and this is not something you guys are going to be doing, but just to let you know, in the settings is where you would adjust any of the pump parameters, like the RPMs, the low speed, and your hematocrit, which is something we kind of do on a daily basis. But I think your VAD team will be taking care of majority of that. And then last thing, in the very rare situation that you would ever have to change out your system controller, first thing, you would make sure you have spoken to your VAD team and that there's a good reason for you to switch this out. The next thing you would do is you would go into your patient's room, get the backup system controller. Every patient has a backup system controller. You would go ahead and take that out. All you need to do is connect it to power, okay? So I would just grab 2 batteries, connect it to power, sit it right next to you, right next to this one. You take this one, unlock the latch, okay? Press down on the red, out with the drive line. You go into the next one, there's arrows that match up. Go right back in, the pump just restarted.
Is it making a noise when you
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We silence the alarms for the training, so
Yeah.
you didn't have to hear it all.
And just make sure it's latched, okay? It's a very quick procedure. The patients, Dustin said he's done it multiple times. The patients tolerate it very, very, very well. It's a lot quicker than you think it would be. Any questions?
It's just so